What's going on, guys? Hey, it's your boy MXN back once again. How we doing, everybody? Let's get that actually a little bit over here. All right, word. Uh, so this week, guys, we're breaking down how to make a Madlib type beat. That's what the voting was for this week. Some of the things that you can already see, I've already got it loaded up. We've already got the slicex going. So I'm going to teach you guys kind of how to sample, just like how Madlib does for like Freddie Gibbs type beats and different stuff like that. I post 3 beats a week. Lately, like what I've been going with is like right around like 6 o'clock Pacific time, like for the beats, and then I like do a short in the morning, following it, just to kind of like get it going. Playing around with the algorithm a little bit, seeing what like time frame kind of sticks. So trying to stay on top of it, trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to like get the things to you guys. So one thing I wanted to like kind of go over today is just yeah, like how do you like really sample like a boom bap style? That's like the main concept of this video. There are many different techniques. You can just like chop the sample up, like right here. It takes a lot of time though. Um, you can cut it that way. You could use like Arcade or like a different plugin like that to chop it up for you, or you can use slicex, which just comes with FL Studio. And that's the main thing I'll be focusing on today. Just also talking about like how boom bap beats are made. So the main topic of this video is how to chop samples and how to make boom bap type beats. Just like Madlib, just like how Freddie Gibbs has for most of his stuff. Before we continue, make sure you guys are leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that noti bell, and yeah, helping me grow the channel. Leave some comments. I'll answer any questions that appear in the chat. Uh, but yeah, let's introduce the beat a little bit here, just in case you forgot what it sounded like. Okay, so some of the things that you'll like notice right off the bat. I started off with the original sample that we started with, this E piano. I'll just drag it in just so you can hear it on its own. Um, and it just kind of loops like that back and forth. What we did, I'll like just kind of like show you. So I'm just gonna open up a new slicex channel, wherever it may be. Let me see. Let me get a closer look at the screen. Sure we got it. Right there. Okay, yep, right at the top. Hidden in plain sight, you know. Yeah, so like with this, you just grab your sample, drop it into slicex. And so it starts off like all marked up like this, and what I did is I just did auto slice and think, yep, just went to detect beats. Slice. Yeah, large. So I just did it like this. Right? So like now it's like all synced up. So you can just switch it to detect beats. You can snap it to the grid. You can do different things like that. Doing the detect beats gets it like so that it's like every note. So it's just a quarter step, as you can hear right there. Um, you can auto slice to like a medium slicing, so it's a little bit more, you know, a little bit different. So it's a little bit longer, like more like a half step, or you can auto slice it to the large grid, which is like what I did with this beat. Right, so now I'm like, it's assigned to each one of these keys, so you can see that I'm playing it. And when you bring in your sample, right, it'll drag it to this. So if it's playing the whole sample, right, it'll play the whole thing out like this, which means you can edit your sample as like a MIDI pattern. Now what I did, now that we have it like our samples in there, we already know what we're like getting it to sound like. Um, we have it chopped up like in here. So the chop just basically like I play like when I wanted it to extend longer, right? All right, so it's yeah, it's over there. Yeah. And then went from so just played it fast. And so you can see some of the things I did. It's not only like, oh, I just played these, like I just clicked which ones I wanted in. When I was playing it in, it was like, okay, these ones I can like adjust the volume with the velocity. Because some of these samples are much louder, like right off the rip. Like that one's really loud. That one needed to be quieter. And that one's really loud compared to the, you know. So you can adjust that, play it around with it, like with the different velocities. I think that's something that's like kind of important to do. When you're messing around with this stuff, like you can just see, like you can chop these samples up just by throwing it into slicex, doing quick little edits with the flag, um, and with that, really you could just chop up an easy sample like that. And with that, like I mean, it just sounds boom bap already. We don't really have anything that's like over the top crazy. You know, we just dragged in our sample into slicex and it chopped it up for us. I mean, that's one thing you can kind of do to just make sure, like, hey, how does this thing sound? I'm not sure that this sounds right. Like, you know, you get a sample, and sometimes it's like, oh, I just don't want to do anything with it. Like if it's a guitar sample, I do that sometimes. I'm guilty, um, but it's just one of those things, man. You know, you just got to keep trying different stuff every once in a while. Sometimes the loop is just good as it is. Uh, but other times, like with this one, like I played the loop all the way in and kind of like let it fade in, and then I chopped it up. So like to like do like a little transition. You know, so just like gave him like the full taste of that, and then like hit him with a little surprise over the head, you know. And then I just I did some like basic editing stuff just to get out some of the like some of the stuff that was here, like some of the frequencies I didn't love. Um, so I'll kind of just go from the top again, bring over my mixer. So I'll just play it raw first. So there's a lot of popping that you can hear. So this reduced, doing the EQ, reduce the popping coming from the treble, because that's really where it was popping at, and raising more of the like keyboard sounds in the lower mids. Then we go to the reverb studio or stereo, reverb stereo. It's a Waves plugin. I really like it. It's worth the purchase. I think it comes with the gold pack, so you can just get that one on your own. It's not like even like a huge deal. But you know how it is. Um, let's see here. And like the reverb here is just a small hall preset, right? It's nothing like you need to like be super concerned about. It's just a regular preset. I didn't really mess with it. The main thing I did is I adjusted this knob here to go down like 25% or so, just to give it like a little bit more breath, because it was dying really hard when we were going to these samples over here, like the how I went. It's too much empty space, so the reverb kind of like filled that void, you know. And then we went into a little delay to like close that void even more. And that delay is just a standard quarter with a little lo-fi. Like definitely more emphasis on like the like making it fade down so it's not as noticeable. But just filling up that empty space that we had, and then filling it up with the compressor to make it loud, you know. Had to make it boosted again to like how it was in the beginning. Next, I'll go to the drums. So this one was like it's a really boom bappy vibe. So we got this. Oh, it would be nice if I didn't have that muted. So you see how it's kind of like funky. So one of the things that I did here is I put the swing up to 20%. That just gives it a little bit more of a playground to go with. And then my kick pattern, pretty easy. Just put the envelope on. Didn't really modify a whole lot. Just had the swing going with it. Made sure that like it was hitting right away as soon as I played it, and like not letting the kick just breathe too much with that envelope. Definitely turned up the velocity on all of these, made it like really small so it'd be like a little bit rapid, that it wasn't like, you know, putting the long tail on it. This is just a good pattern to follow. It's like boom, 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 boom. You know, it's like a good like boom bappy pattern. So just piggybacking off of that, we'll just keep playing everything as they play. Right? Now we add our backup snare. Just adjusting the velocities over time, making them a little bit more fun to play with. Right? Now we add our hat, and now there's something really cool I did with this hat. So I first edited the envelope on it, made sure it was normalized just so I could get a little bit more loudness out of it, started at the right point, and then I added a shift of about like 1 second just to get a little bit more swing. So I'm going to copy that value just so I can paste it back in. So very standard. You put the swing back into it. Adds a little bit of a funkier sound, you know. Then we go into the bass, which piggybacks off of the melody. So this bass, I wanted it to be a little bit more creative, because it was just like, you know, typically with like these bass notes, like all of these like old school beats, it's really like something like that. It's like Madlib, MF Doom, that kind of vibe. It's like always like heavy on the bass, but it's like it's a natural bass sound, right? So we got this was just achieved with a standard ample bass. Nothing special about it. Just rolled off some of the higher ends, kept some of the treble in because I liked the buzzing sounds. I thought that was pretty cool. And then raised the bass notes, and then put my favorite CLA 2A compressor. This is my favorite one to use for bass. This is also following the swing because it's MIDI, so just keep that in mind too. That's like why it's like hitting on the same beats. Same thing with our, we just got a little crash here, and then a little open hats to top us off here. So one thing I want to like speak to here the key elements of like a boom bap beat, it's just like you're in like a half time, like so BPM's like 86, but like you're hitting like everything like twice as fast. So like in a regular beat, like at 140 BPM, the kick and the snare would be hitting like at these kind of time frames. With this, it's like half the time. So going like this is more like going like this and having the snare hit right there, if that makes sense. Um, but with the speed increase, you're hitting all the reds all the time with your snare just to keep the basic thing. And then you add your like little like flares, like your little rolls and different stuff like that. And keeping the swing is paramount. Like, it's what makes it nice, 20%. And then that quick little trick that I taught you with the hi-hat, you just go to the wrench tool right here, go over to time, and then you shift the time on that. And that really just gets it like super, super funky. Um, all together, it sounds like this. And now going into the verse. Bring back our bass here. Yeah. Now let's let it fade in. Get back to the hook. Let's bring nothing but the snares for the next part. And now we're back at our hook. And one thing with my boom bap beats, what I typically like to do: 8-bar intro, 8-bar hook, 16 for the verse, 8-bar hook, and then like a 4-bar outro. Keep it under 2.5 minutes, right around 3 minutes. It's just like a little bit easier to like maintain everybody's attention and like really bring a punch. Uh, Mixing side of things, like I already went and showed you the main two things that I mixed. The rest of these kind of like came to me mixed. I beefed up my kick a little bit, but not a lot. Like it just boosted the bass like right at 147, and then took out the tail end of the sub and the tail end of the treble, so it just wasn't like over the top, hitting it bad sounds. But the rest of these were mixed pretty well before I got to them. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got today. Just basic boom bap beats again, but we learned a little technique with the slicex. I think that's like a really cool one. Different shifts, like we talked about. That's like really how you can get that swing in it and like really make it sound old school. These are all programmed drums, but they seem a little bit more natural when you like do the shift, you do the different stuff like that, and you really just want to like make the drums sound like a sample in themselves. So that's a good way to do that. But all right, that's what I got for you guys. Make sure you're leaving a comment, hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, hitting that noti bell, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. God bless. Have a great weekend, guys. Catch you later. Peace.